Good day. As many of you know, a few days ago, I did a program for this channel about the growing quarrel between the European Commission and AstraZeneca, and between the European Commission and some European governments and the British government, all connected to the growing debacle across Europe in the way that the European Union is handling the medical response to the medical emergency. Before I proceed, I want to quickly again apologise to you for the fact that I have to use complex and circuitous language and avoid calling things by their true names. Unfortunately, I have to work within constraints that we all know about. Anyway, nonetheless, and to come to the point of this programme, it's been fascinating to see developments continue since I spoke about this matter in that previous programme. And it's striking to see that there has now been a division within European public opinion about this issue, and increasingly a division between the European political class and the European public. So we have the German regulator saying that the AstraZeneca product is somehow unfit for people older than the mid-60s. And we've seen President Emmanuel Macron of France also weigh in and make similar claims against the AstraZeneca product. This notwithstanding the fact that that product is shortly going to be approved by the European Commission's own regulators. But putting that aside, it's striking that public opinion in certain European countries, and most specifically in Germany, is taking a different view. The country which is perhaps most involved or engaged in all of this is Germany. And here, perhaps the Germans have an advantage because the European Commission President, Ursula von der Leyen, is, after all, a German Christian Democrat politician and someone well known in Germany and to the German public. Anyway, the German media has been absolutely and furious with her and is becoming increasingly critical of her entire management of this crisis. Now, in order to illustrate this, I'm going to refer to a long article which has appeared in the German magazine Der Spiegel, which is translated into English in Spiegel International. There have been similar articles about von der Leyen in other sections of the German media, but these, of course, are in German. I would add, by the way, that some of the German tabloid newspapers, like Bild Zeitung, have spoken about Ursula von der Leyen in much more pithy and strong terms than Der Spiegel does. Nonetheless, Der Spiegel is clear enough in some of the things that it says. I'll read some of its comments. When European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen talks about politics, there is never a shortage of superlatives and grandiloquence. Until recently, that was also true when she was talking about the extremely sensitive issue of medications. In late November, von der Leyen gushed about the contracts the European Union had signed with various producers, saying it meant that Europeans would have access to the most promising future medications under development. When it became clear in December that the first people in the EU would receive treatment soon after Christmas, she even injected a bit of pathos, tweeting, "It's Europe's moment." When the medications began, she wrote of touching moment of unity and a European success story. These days, though, von der Leyen is noticeably quieter, a silence that would have to do with the fact that the erstwhile success story might ultimately turn out to be the greatest disaster of her entire political career. And then it goes on to discuss at length the mounting frustration and anger that has been growing across Europe. And it then finishes by saying, and the boss, and they mean Ursula von der Leyen, is nowhere to be found. The louder the criticism has grown, the less has been heard from the erstwhile loquacious Commission President. She has at times been like the Phantom of Brussels. Requests for comment from the press have been systematically blocked by her communications department, and she has essentially gone into hiding. It is, to put it bluntly, a pattern that has occurred frequently throughout her career. Well, of course, all this is completely true, and it is entirely unexpected. Anybody who has been familiar with Ursula von der Leyen's career knows that a manager of any sort she is not. Put her in charge of a complex project like this one, and she was bound to become unstuck. She was, after all, by general consent, an extremely poor German defense minister. The question always comes back to this one. Why put a person like Ursula von der Leyen in charge of the European Commission? Why, if you do put a person like Ursula von der Leyen in charge of the European Commission, do you expect a different result from the results that she has achieved in other things? Why think that she will perform any better as European Commission President than she did as German Defence Minister or in any of the other big political roles that she has filled? This whole story points once more to this extraordinary dysfunction between the sweeping, enormous ambitions that the European Commission and the European leadership have, and their complete managerial and administrative inadequacy. Ursula von der Leyen is hardly the only example. My colleague Alex Christoforou and I, in various programs we've done on the Duran, have spoken about how European Central Bank Chair Christine Lagarde, her entire career has been one debacle after another. How is it that these people simply go on rising the more they fail? Well, the short answer, of course, is that in politics, in their home countries, in Germany, in France, in such places, these people are basically look to the European Commission as the bowlhole they can escape to when their political careers fail in their own countries. In other words, the European Commission and European institutions in general have become a kind of retirement home for failed European politicians. Well, that is perhaps an expensive way of providing these people with retirement, or would be if they were simply sent there and did no more damage than that. But when in fact people like Ursula von der Leyen and Christine Lagarde and many of the others give themselves these tremendous roles, when they claim the right, the exclusive right, to handle the entirety of Europe's pandemic response, Europe being, of course, an economic and political bloc which brings together over 400 million people, then you don't want failed politicians, you want able ones. Unfortunately, there is no prospect of that, because the one iron rule of European politics is that failure reproduces itself and success is punished. Thank you very much for joining me on this programme. I look forward to seeing you on further programmes for this channel. Please also check out our main channel, the Duran, and also my friend Alex Christophorou's channel. You'll find links under this video. Please also check us out on our other platforms, BitChute, Odyssey, Library, Rumble, and the rest. Please support us also through Patreon, Subscribestar, PayPal, and via Bitcoin. And last but not least, please come to our shop. Buy the great things you will find there, our amazing magic mugs, which you can see here. I've got two of them. Buy my one with tea, one before with coffee. Please also look out for our amazing shirts, our t-shirts, our hats and our hoodies and our sweatshirts. And please join me for my next program. Thank you very much.